Hi, my name is Tess Gittleman, and I'm going to show you my recipe for roasted Brussels sprouts with truffle oil. This is a super easy side to do, mostly because people are always going to like if you can make them enjoy Brussels sprouts. They're scarred from their mother's experience with them. Maybe the cafeteria turned them off, but I grew up hating Brussels sprouts until I had them at a restaurant that did them similar to the way that I do them, and they're fantastic. I'm going to make them taste like a potato chip for you. Now, the first thing you should know about a Brussels sprout is how to clean it. When you're buying one, you want to look for one similar to this, one that on the outside doesn't have any brown spots, that the root isn't all brown, and you're just going to trim the bottom of that off. You don't even want to lose these outer leaves that sometimes fall off if there's no brown spots on them. They're going to taste exactly like a potato chip, and they're going to be the thing you sneak before you serve them to your guests. Then this one's a pretty decent sized Brussels sprout, so I'm just going to go ahead and quarter it. And all done. But sometimes you get Brussels sprouts that have brown spots on them, and it doesn't mean that the Brussels sprout is bad or that it hasn't been washed. It just means that you have to clean them out a little more thorough. So you're just going to peel away the leaves that have that brown spot on them. And it's fun because they peel away just like a cabbage leaf would, because essentially that's what they are, mini cabbage. This one's a little bigger, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut them into sixths. From here, we're going to take our 3 large cloves of garlic. You don't need to bother with trimming off the bottom because you're not actually going to eat the garlic. A good smash will do the trick. You're just going to try and get all these oils in the garlic to infuse throughout the Brussels sprouts and the oil. From here, you're going to take your extra virgin olive oil. If you don't want to use extra virgin, regular olive oil will do just fine. I like olive oil, though, compared to vegetable oil, simply because it's a little bit thicker. It coats better, in my opinion. And I'm going to use just enough to coat heavily. For this bowl, I'm going to go ahead and say 2 tablespoons should do the trick. It's a pound of Brussels sprouts that I have here that are cleaned. And they all are glossy, so I know that it's perfectly coated. I'm going to take just regular salt and pepper and give it a once over, stir it up and do it again. And then I'm going to move the Brussels sprouts onto the sheet I'm going to cook them on. A baking sheet, cooking sheet, anything that gives the Brussels sprouts some room to roast is ideal. You don't want to crowd the pan though, because it ends up just steaming them and you won't get that really crispy coating you're looking for. And then I'm just going to take a good sea salt, you could use red clay salt, any sort of fancy salt, and just put a couple pinches over it so that every piece has a nice bite of salt. And I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 degrees in the top rack. They're going to go in for about 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on your oven, but essentially what you're looking for is fork tender, not cooked all the way through, because you're going to continue to cook them in a broiler, so they're going to get a little softer than you think. The Brussels sprouts are going to look like they're a little bit burnt, but they're not. This is the delicious, crispy, chip-like part to it. So all you have to do now that you've broiled them is plate them up for serving. This dish will serve about 2 to 3 people, and it's lost a lot of the weight that it had just because the water has left it. And finally, my favorite thing in the whole wide world, truffle oil. You're just going to use a very little dribble over top because it's a very potent flavor. Serve this, and you're going to love Brussels sprouts again.